We've become very impatient, and we're constantly trying to pleasure ourselves at every moment. So here's what it looks like. Let's say that you're presented with a choice. At the end of a nice meal, you can have warm, grandma-made chocolate cake or a glass of water. That's your choice. Now, what do you get if you choose the warm chocolate cake? What do you get? Joy. Joy is what you get. An oral sensation like none other. That's what you get. Now, what do you get if you choose the glass of water? Buckets. That right there is the greatest challenge that you will ever face your whole life long. And that is, when you make a poor choice, you're rewarded. When you make a good choice, you get nothing. And that will be the challenge that you will be faced with all day, every single day. And we come by this desire to pleasure ourselves very early in life. You see, all day we're walking through a minefield of solicitations on our desire to immediately gratify ourselves. And it requires you having this steadfast will of control, this self-control in order to sustain your intended positive choice structure. Here's the great paradox that you're faced with. What gives you short-term pleasure, the chocolate cake, saying, no, I don't want to deal with this right now, and walking out of the room, right? Going home instead of working out, creates long-term pain. On the other side of the equation, short-term pain, making the phone call, going to the meeting, creates long-term pleasure. My mentor, Jim Rohn, put it this way. He said, in life, you will suffer one of two pains. Right there's great wisdom. You have to hear it. In life, you will... Yeah, stop trying to avoid that deal. You will suffer. That's the bad news. Here's the good news. You get to pick your suffering. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And as he said, the pain of discipline weighs ounces. Picking up the phone, going to the meeting, saying you're sorry. However, the pain of regret weighs tons. Divorce, bankruptcy, headache, heartache, lost and estranged relationships. So as you are going through this minefield of solicitations on your weakest part of your nature, you have to keep these things in mind. As Oprah said to me, I said, so what are some of the ways that you're working to try to change the course for you? She says, the hardest thing is that if I make a poor choice, I'm gratified. If I make a good choice, I get nothing. And so I had to decide, what can I get if I make a good choice? She says, I decided that if I made a good choice, it's a miracle. I'm going to make a miracle. She says, because if I don't choose the chocolate cake, it's a miracle! And at least I can say, instead of the chocolate cake, I'm choosing a miracle. And she says, all I'm trying to do throughout the day is to be a miracle maker. And at the end of the day, I count up how many times today did I make a miracle. Which for her was a positive choice that gave her no physical or emotional or psychological reward. She's giving her the emotional and psychological reward of a miracle. So I pass that advice on to you because I think it's very helpful.